Konnichiwa, Ian des. Today we've got the map out so we can look at English accents around the world, because the UK isn't the only place that speaks English, and each area sounds very different. It's quite interesting. So I've got the map here. I'm in a strange position, but it'll make sense. So obviously we'll start with where English began, England. So it's over here. Obviously Japan is over here. So let's hear what an English person sounds like. So let me click some buttons. Right, so Emma Watson, English. Let's listen.
I love learning and I love note-taking. I've made copious notes. Look, there's diagrams, there's a mound. This is called the pony, and this is called the jigger. This is called...
Okay, so hopefully you know Emma, and hopefully you heard her Englishness. It's pretty normal. Well, I think it is. So what's next? Next is next door, Ireland. So you'll see it's right next door, but it sounds very different, a very different accent. So let's get that video up. Okay, now we've got Irish actor Cillian Murphy. Not him, but we'll...
Tired of that. I say sound a lot. It's an Irish thing. For us to say, you know, he's a nice guy, he's sound, you're sound. Oh, that's sound. Or also you can say sound can be thank you. So
It works in all.
So that was Ireland. Next door. Did you hear the difference between Emma? I think it's a... Now I'm kind of in between both of them. So next is America and Canada. Now, important note, there's lots of different accents within Canada and lots of accents within America, but for me, they sound pretty similar. For you learning, they're all going to sound very similar. And you can say the same about England. I did a video before on the different areas of the UK. Lots of variation there, so Emma Watson isn't the only English speaker. There's many. Same for Ireland, different parts of Ireland. I sound very different to Cillian Murphy, who we just heard. So we're going to go for very just generic American, Canadian, North America, maybe it's called North America, the North American accent. So let's hear that one. Okay, so we got two ladies. This one's Canadian, this one's American. Let's hear how they're different to me and the other videos.
Bagel. 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 Well, you just said it differently. No, bagel. You just said it differently again. Pecan.
Okay, did you hear any difference? I didn't. And I'm a native English speaker. To me, they both just... If they said they were American, I would believe them. If they said they were Canadian, I'd believe them. But, yeah, very different than the other ones. Right, so where's next? Ooh. Australia and New Zealand. Now, again, to my ear, they sound very similar. I really have to listen to quite a lot to notice the little differences. Now, I know a lot of Japanese people come down here to visit, so can you hear the difference? You can definitely hear the difference between England, Ireland, America. They sound very different. So again, we got two ladies, and if you look at their flags, I can't even tell the difference of them apart. They look the same to me. I think Australia has one extra. Obviously they were both British colonies. Well, all these countries were actually, I think. Nearly all of them. So let's hear Kiwi, the New Zealand, and Aussie, the Australian. Let's see if we can hear this difference.
Deck.
Deck.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
6.
6.
Pen.
Pen.
Okay, I can hear a little bit of difference, but if I just heard them, and there's only one of them, I wouldn't know which one they were. Can you hear the difference? Can you hear the difference between the other countries? Okay, so where's next? Can you see? Over here. So we've got America, and over here is the Caribbean. It's nearly off the map. I've put Japan in the middle, and maybe that wasn't sensible because we're nearly off the screen. But here we're going for Jamaica. There's quite a few islands in the Caribbean that speak English, but we'll go for Jamaican. So these guys are speaking English, but sounds very different. So let's get this one up. Okay, we've got Angry Jamaican Man. Let's hear him.
The mad bumbuckler girl doing. Hey girl, you're a mad girl. Remember me tell you this. You're a mad bumbuckler girl. You need psychiatric evaluation.
Right, well, that sounds very different. Could you understand any of it? It's quite difficult for me to hear, but I kind of can understand what he's saying. The words he's using are very different. He's calling someone a bumbuckler. It's not a word I would use, but basically I think I don't really know what it means. I think it's a bit of a, you're an idiot. So he sounds very different to Emma Watson at the start, doesn't he? Do a quick check. Let's hear Emma speak again.
Called hawthorn. This is a cool fact. Because this gets cold, it's what seals these two things.
Now I hear the Jamaican.
Girl, you're a mad girl. Remember me tell you this. You're a mad bumbuckler girl. You need.
Very different. Pretty cool though, how still English, but you need to really train your ears. So let's go back to the map. Where's next? South Africa. So a lot of Africa speaks French. South Africa speaks English. They speak a few other languages. And originally this was a Dutch. So the Dutch is up here beside England. They speak Dutch, obviously. Holland, Netherlands, Dutch. So a lot of their English almost sounds Dutch in a way. It's very peculiar, their languages, but they do speak English. So let's hear them speak English. No, I couldn't actually find a South African, which is strange, but this lady does a very good accent, and I think it's okay. So you'll hear the difference between what we've heard before.
I had a lovely comment from somebody in my Kiwi video that said that I sounded like I was from South Africa. And so I'm just responding to that. Very different. It's almost, you might hear Emma here and think, oh, they sound kind of the same, but there's a few words that South Africans say where they kind of roll the R's and it sounds very different. You can usually pick them out, but very different. So back to the world. So that's a few different countries that speak English around the world. Very different. Now I know we have Tokyo and Osaka, and they sound very different, but to me, I can't hear it. It all sounds Japanese. So, could you hear the difference between these speakers? Is there any country where you're like, oh, that's very difficult to hear, or is there one that you like the best? Let me know. Yeah, so let me know what you thought of that. And if you need the website, the link's below. I'll put all the vocabulary and some more information about these countries down there. So yeah, arigato, matane.